Hi Taurus and Taurus rising, this is your November 2016 forecast. So astrologically speaking, November doesn't have too many twists and turns and unexpected and haphazard developments. And this is great for you because it's going to enable you to get on with the business at hand. And this is going to be very good for you because Mars is moving into your 10th house from the 9th of November, where the focus is really going to be on career, goals, objectives. You're going to strive to get ahead in your chosen profession and to receive recognition from authorities and bosses. So Mars in the 10th is really going to push hard, to make you successful, to, give you professional advancement. So the only advice that I would give with Mars in the 10th is that you don't make yourself or your ambition too naked. This is going to bring conflict from people that you work with who are going to resist you trying to get to the top. So if you can just bring it down a notch and take other people's needs into consideration, you'll be able to get further faster. And that energy and focus and drive of Mars won't have to be siphoned off into conflict management and, petty arguments and fights in the workplace. So rather use that energy to really push to achieve career goals, objectives, and to really advance. So Mars is going to be working very efficiently for you in the 10th house for most of the month. The other focus this month is the 7th house. The Sun is going to be in the 7th house until the 22nd of November. And the Sun in the 7th is very focused on partnerships or your significant one-on-one interactions. And it's also very good for consulting. So if consulting is what you do professionally, and all of us do to some extent, then it's really going to help those interactions, particularly with Mercury in this house, until the 12th of November. So Mercury joining the Sun in the 7th house, it's really going to help you with communications and, to talk things out. So with all that focus on the 7th house, this isn't really a time where you want to go it alone. It's also not the time when you want to just develop your ideas in private. Your ideas are going to be best threshed out through other people. So use other people as sounding boards, develop your ideas through communications. And also if you need expert advice, the 7th house is also, indicates seeking out professionals. So if you need advice from lawyers, accountants, psychologists, or even astrologers, then look for that because it's going to help strengthen your partnerships, make them more efficient and compelling. And it's also just going to help you be a lot more effective in the workplace. So let's look at how the month got started. The new moon was on the 30th of October, and this is still running in the waxing phase for the next 2 weeks and until the next new moon at the end of the month. So that new moon was in your 7th house of partnerships, so it could have shown the start of a new partnership, so you could have initiated a new romantic or business partnership. And, the Sun, Moon, and Mercury were trining Neptune in your 11th house. So for you, this was thinking big, thinking creatively, thinking artistically, and in terms of group goals and objectives, but also personal dreams and objectives. So thinking big, thinking how you can use your partnerships and group associations to get further faster. And it's really going to have helped you sell yourself. And so this is an energy that you want to be using now. Develop yourself through your partnerships, advance your goals and objectives and dreams through partnerships and group associations. So this is really going to be a powerful energy for you that's going to help you feel hopeful and optimistic. And like I said, Mars is moving into your 10th house from the 9th of November. So really focused and driven in the workplace in terms of career objectives and advancements and having your unique talents and abilities recognized. And Mercury, like I said, is in the 7th house until the 12th of November. So Mercury here, very good for communication, very good for consulting. So developing intellectual ideas through conversations with others, you're going to be seeking out intellectual stimulation. After that, Mercury is moving into your 8th house. So here the focus is going to be a little bit deeper. It's going to relate perhaps to hidden aspects of yourself that you've been out of touch with, so help put you in touch with them and develop those things. Very good aspect for psychotherapy or those kinds of modalities which are consciousness raising. But Mercury here, of course, has your mind on finances and joint resources as well, so this could be a focal point. Particularly with Venus in the 8th house as well. So Venus in the 8th house, Venus is a very yin planet. It's not energized, it brings things to you, so you don't have to work too hard for them. So Venus in the 8th house can show money coming in through investments and joint resources that you share with somebody else, but it could also, for those of you who are partnered up, whether business or spousal, show money coming in through your partner. So perhaps your partner's finances get a boost. Okay, so let's look through what's happening in the month astrologically. So we had that new moon on the 30th of October. So like I said, developing your ideas through group goals and, developing your own dreams and ambitious hopes and desires through group and partnership dynamics. So really push to get ahead, push to develop those artistic, philosophical ideas, to think big for a change. This isn't the time for small thinking, it's the time for thinking big. Because you'll really be feeling intuitively in touch and aware, and your mind is going to be very stimulated intellectually. And so use this also to sell yourself well, because you'll be able to present your ideas very well with this aspect. So on the 7th of November, the Sun sextiles Pluto between your 7th and your 9th house. So this is very good for making changes to existing situations, especially partnerships. It's very good for clearing the decks that things have become a little bit disorganized. So, for you, because this is in partnerships, you can use it in the house of partnerships. You can use this to realign your interests, to make sure you're on the same page as someone else. And if things have been going on that have been a little bit messy that you want to get rid of or clean up, then this is the aspect to do it with, because you'll really have that clear thinking and focus that'll help you see what's useful and what's not. So on the 14th of October, the full moon is in your 1st house. So this brings the focus from the 7th house of significant partnerships back onto you. So very often what one can find, if the new moon has been in your 7th house and the full moon is in your 1st house, is that it's been all about other people up until this point. So when the full moon comes into your 1st house, the focus is on your needs and what you want. So you're going to be looking at whether partnerships are mutually fulfilling, what is the give and take like? Are you getting your fair share? So it's not just about meeting other people's needs, it's having other people meet your needs and see how your partnerships fill that role in your life. So a little bit of selfishness at this time, things coming to that kind of a culminating point where you review partnerships for their usefulness and see if really, they are tending to your personal needs and objectives as much as you're tending to those of other people. So on the 19th, Venus sextiles Neptune from the 9th to the 11th houses. So this is a very beautiful aspect for, art and beauty. So it can have you going to a concert, going to a park, going for a picnic, going somewhere scenic and beautiful. It also sensitizes you to the needs of other people, makes you more empathetic. So for you, because this is tying into the 11th house, this could be through altruistic concerns. Perhaps, you're linking, that kind of empathetic awareness to conservation projects, things where you see that, your ideals can be improved and developed. So thinking and dreaming big, but also very in touch with feelings and moods of other people. So channel this energy into some kind of philanthropic project and see if you can make the world a better place. Or alternatively, just go somewhere beautiful and enchanting, a hike out in nature or a concert or an art exhibition. So on the 22nd, Mercury sextiles Jupiter from your 8th and your 6th house. So the 6th is the house of work and the 8th is the house of joint resources. So this is very good for drawing up contracts and for negotiations. These two planets work very well in terms of giving you the big picture. And the 8th house can also have to do with budgetary concerns. So good for plans and contracts and business negotiations and for getting budgets in order. So you'll have a lot of lucid thinking around those areas. So on the 23rd of November, Mercury conjuncts Saturn in your 8th house. So Mercury and Saturn, together can give a lot of intellectual precision, critical thinking, and you can use your critical faculties constructively, to find flaws in existing things. And the 8th house is all about joint resources and finances. It can also be psychotherapy, so, it could help you get in touch So it could help you get in touch, with aspects of yourself that have been hidden. Although it might make you a little bit gloomy and pessimistic, but don't take yourself too seriously. Just use those sharp and critical faculties. So this can help you make budgetary reviews, to consolidate plans, get things together, because it's very detail driven and precise. So like I said, use those critical faculties. So on the 24th, Jupiter squares Pluto between the 6th and the 9th houses. So Jupiter squaring Pluto, this really awakens the desire for power and for rebuilding and, repairing existing structures. So, these planets you can see in the American elections, they're very prominent right now. But for some of us in your personal charts, they'll also be quite prominent. So Jupiter square Pluto, shows us, where you want to make a difference, where you want to reorganize, rebuild, and review. So there's somewhere in your life where you need to get in touch with a platform where you can find power, because this really awakens that desire. So whatever you're doing and wherever you're striving for power, make sure that you've assessed everything and that you know that where you stand is kind of the right place to be. So you've taken everything into account and you're going to push to get ahead in the best way possible. So on the 25th, Venus conjuncts Pluto in your 9th house. So Venus and Pluto can show a lot of intensity around love relationships. It can make some people look for escapism through love. And for others, it can make them very jealous and possessive and needy in a way within relationships. So if you're in an existing relationship, it could make you want to experience a little bit more excitement and drama. So it can cause some disruptions there. But it could also, if you're not attached, show a kind of intense infatuation. And since the 9th house is foreigners and foreign people and people that are very different to you, it could come from some unexpected quarter like that. So love experiences and intensity of feelings can be very transformative at this time. So on the 26th, Mercury trines Uranus between the 8th and the 12th houses. So these two planets working together show looking for novel experiences. You're a bit bored by humdrum experiences and everyday concerns. It's quite an electrifying aspect. It stimulates you. It makes you feel mentally awake. And, so it's very good for injecting vigor and novelty into existing dynamics. And it's also excellent for taking up new courses of study. And because of the houses involved for you, this could be things like astrology or the occult. But Mercury and Uranus together also tend towards scientific and technological pursuits. So you're really going to want to explore new ideas at this time. You won't be satisfied with just taking the ordinary staid route with things. So on the 29th of November, there's a new moon in your 8th house. So this new moon has some problematic aspects with Neptune. So the sun and the moon are squaring Neptune. And in your 8th house, this can be the house of fears and anxieties of mind, as well as joint resources. But I'd say focus on the joint resource aspect of this. So problematic aspects with Neptune, we've seen what good aspects look like with the new moon on the 30th of October. But negative aspects with Neptune can show confusion, your thinking isn't clear, things look too good to be true. So this wouldn't be a good time for you to make a risky financial investment, because really things could seem better than they are. And also there's also the possibility of some kind of deception or people misrepresenting themselves. So rather stick to the psychodynamic or psychotherapeutic dimension of this and, use it to explore your unconscious mind, but not the time to be making speculative, risky investment. It wouldn't really work out too well. Wait until the fog is cleared and, you can see things as they are. So also the last week of the month, you've got the sun moving into your 8th house. So from the 7th to the 8th. So the 8th house here, the focus is on, like I said, deeper hidden sides of your personality, and very good for kind of doing some kind of review or revision. Because this house is about fears and anxieties of mind, dealing with those hidden aspects of yourself can really lead to a certain kind of self-mastery. So the 8th house and focuses, and when the sun is in the 8th house, it can really help you become the master of yourself and your destiny. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful, and if you did, please like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.